Hi guys, glad tidings. Chris here, founder and creator of GIP Squared. Today's lesson is about Consumer Pricing Index, lesson number 7 in our series, What is Money? We have up on our screen a nice spreadsheet. So let's go over, first of all, what is Consumer Pricing Index? It's taking items, consumer products over a lifespan. And what I'm doing, there's actually 5 years that we're looking at. We're going back to 1913 and for a span of 113 years. And finding an average and analyzing the numbers. So what are the products that we're looking at? Over on the left-hand side under consumer product, you'll see ground beef, dozen of eggs, gallon of milk, pound of butter, gallon of gasoline, what a regular stamp cost, electricity, hourly wage, new home, new car, and private college and tuition. All right, we have selected 5 years, and I'll explain why we've chosen those years. Okay, the first one on the left is 1913. Of course, we all know this is when the Federal Reserve came into existence and they started to watering down the sound money. And this is when the problem started, 1913. And this graph and this chart is, you're going to see that in here. Okay, the next year that we're looking at is 1971. Why was that important? President Richard M. Nixon had taken us off the gold standard. Okay, I want you to imagine again a balloon, a helium balloon with a ribbon, and the ribbon is wrapped around a gold brick. This is what sound money was back then. But what President Richard M. Nixon had done, he had taken a pair of scissors and snipped the ribbon. Now, the helium blue started floating around, and we came up with a term called floating currency and also fiat currency. It's not attached by anything. This chart is going to show us that prices started to escalate after 1971. Okay, the next year that we have here is 1972. 2009, which was the financial crisis, and then the year that we're in now, 2026. So let's take a look at ground beef. You'll see ground beef in 1913 was 14.9 cents. The next time we are looking at this is 1971. Ground beef is 62 cents a pound. Then you'll see the multiplication factor under H8 is 4.2 times. Now, how do I come up with that formula? It's 62 cents in 1971 divided by 14.9 cents in 1913, which is 4.2 times more. And that's what I'm doing with all these products in my Consumer Pricing Index chart here. Okay, let's go all the way out. Well, actually, let's look at ground beef again in 2009. You'll see it's $3.10. The multiplication factor is 20.8 times. Now, this is when it really starts to escalate after the financial crisis. Now, the reason why we want the currency to crash, which it did in 2008. The problem was we didn't have the new monetary system to take over. So what have we been doing since 2008? We're using the same monetary system by keeping it afloat, by keep printing more and more and more money. Guys, once again, the food prices are not going up. The value of the dollar is going down. In previous lessons, we learned that the value of the dollar is less than 3%. It's actually 2.95% according to my calculations. Compared to what? Before 1913, it was 100% intrinsic value. Now we're on its last legs. Okay. Let's go over to the hourly wage in 1971. I shared with you what I believe is the richest generation is my parents, which is called the silent generation. And this formula is going to show you why they were the richest generation. The hourly wage in 1971, which is H15 in dark green, or I should say bright green, it's 8 times. So my dad was making $1.50 $1.60 an hour compared to 20 cents in 1913. So that's 8 times. Now, when you see a new home, a new car, and college tuition, they are pretty much in alignment with the 8 times. So my family, my dad worked, my mom stayed at home. There was 5 children. There's 7 us in the family. We went to private school. We had 1 car. We lived on an acre and a half of land. We had an in-ground pool in the backyard, and we went on vacation. So this is why I believe the silent generation is the richest generation, because everything is in alignment with the hourly wage. Now we're going to start seeing where it gets out of whack. The new home, new car, and college tuition is going to be escalated more than the hourly wage. So let's go over to year January 2009. Look at the hourly wage. So in 2009, the hourly wage was 6.55 cents, which is 32.8 times more than when it was in 1913. When you look at the new home, new car, and college tuition, you see it's escalating. It's not quite doubled, but it's getting there. Okay, now let's take a look at January 2026. The hourly wage is $16 an hour. Now, this is in the United States. $16 an hour, which is 80 times more than what it was in 1913. Look at a new home, a new car, and college tuition. Now it's double. This is the problem. This is why Gen Z and Gen X are having a very, very hard time, or I should say Gen Y. Gen Y, which are called millennials, and Gen Zs, is because of compound interest. It's not that they're lazy. It's the math ain't mathin' no more. We got to stop using compound interest. That's what GIP squared is doing. We're going back to sound money of gold and silver, and we're using a prestine system of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We are not using compound interest. That's the problem. Okay. Let's go all the way over to the right. You'll see the number in the light blue area, 13.3. What is that saying? That's saying the consumer products that I have selected 1 through 8, I've taken all those products. I went back to 1913 and I found an average. The average of all 8 of those prices went up 13.3 times. Now, if we lived in my dad's generation, which is the silent generation, you should see a new home, a new car, and college tuition should be close to 13.3. But it's not. Look down there, you'll see it's 47.7 times more than what it was in January 1913. Again, this is the problem. It comes down to compound interest. So 47.7 is actually 3.6 times more than what it should be. This is what the problem is. And it's not because they're lazy. The math is not mathing. Okay? So what we're going to learn in the next video is what GIP squared is going to be doing compared to the current debt system. I'm introducing the prosperity system, which is backed by sound money, precious metals, that's debt-free, interest-free, and tax-free. Okay, guys, thank you for this lesson. Thank you for being here with me. And thank you for your time and attention. Until next time, cheers, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers. Bye for now.